Hello, Art on Twist, and welcome to Raw Recapping Reviews, the February 2nd, 2026 episode of Monday Night Raw, coming from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And it's also the first Raw of Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to all of my black brothers and sisters out there. If you enjoy WWE content like this and WWE discussion, subscribe to the channel and like the video for more. Let's get into the first segment of the show. Raw starts abruptly. Braun Breaker at ringside, going insane, ripping the whole announce table off and everything. He's getting in the face of Michael Cole, Corey Graves, scaring them off, tweaking around, and the Vision come out. They run out. They try to calm him down. They're like, God, they're like, Sean, calm down, calm down, calm down. Paul Heyman has a mic at first, but Braun takes the mic away from him and he says, enough time for talking. You know, he said his Rumble got ruined, so now he's gonna ruin Raw. So he's going insane. He's pissed off. The Vision calm him down again though, and then Heyman gets the mic and he says he blames Adam Pearce for everything going wrong around with the Vision in the show right now, and he tells Adam Pearce to come out here and explain himself. Adam Pearce comes out. He comes out with a whole bunch of security with him, and he says he doesn't know who the masked man is. He doesn't know. They're going insane in the ring, and Braun is just he gets mad. He tweaks. He instantly gets out the ring, but the security's right there. As he's getting closer to Pearce, L.A. Knight walk out, whoops the Vision in the ring while Braun's over there. Before Braun gets to the ring, L.A. Knight skedaddles. He runs away. He does a little drive-by, and then Braun's like, oh my God. So it was a pretty unique way to start Raw. But now we get into the first match of things. We get Javon Evans, that boy, Bouncy, against El Grande Americano. This match got canceled last time because Javon hurt himself, so now they're actually running it back again. Match starts off with El Grande throwing his cape at Javon, and then proceeds to attack him in the corner. But Javon gets punches back. He fights back from it, and now he punches him in the corner. And then Javon hits him with a pristine drop kick, and then hits the bouncy Hurricanrana, and then he hits another drop kick. Grande's in the corner now. Javon tries to dive at him, but he gets dodged, and he gets punched outside by Grande. And then Grande slaps Javon in the chest on the outside, and then tries to throw him into the steel steps, but Javon dodges over them. He maneuvers over them. They both go back in the ring at the same time, and Javon hits him with an elbow, and Grande tries to hit him with a tag, but he reverses it and ends up punching him to the outside. That leads to Javon to do the Undertaker dive on El Grande, and when he tries to get back in the ring, Ryo, who is Pete Dunne if you don't know, pulls Javon's leg, and then Javon turns back around and tries to grab Ryo, tries to take his mask off. But then El Grande from the outside runs to the corner and a kick to him, which leads to Grande throwing Javon's shoulder into the ring post and then slapping him and then hit him with a back body drop. And that's how we get to the commercial break. We get back from the commercial break with Grande still working on the shoulder. At the Rumble, Javon hurt his arm, so he has it taped up. So that's why Grande's going hard on the shoulder manipulation. He slams on the rope, and then he stumps on his shoulder. And then he hits him with a big clothesline. He goes for a pin, but he gets a kick out by Javon. That leads to Grande trying to exert more damage. He's kicking him in the shoulder, but that leads to Javon getting right, and then they hit it with a booyah combo. Slaps, elbows back and forth. Javon wins the exchange, hits him with a super kick, which leads to Grande fighting back with a big chop, but that leads Javon getting into a tilt-a-whirl DDT. We get over to the corner. Javon's waiting over there. Grande tries to hit him. Javon tries to super kick Grande in the corner. He catches the foot. He goes, dumbass. Hits him again. Then they do the spot again at the other corner. Another dumbass. And that leaves Javon doing a corkscrew low kick to Grande on the floor. Then Javon gets Grande in the corner. Hits him with the corner forearm. Slaps him 2 times in the chest. And then he does the super bouncy springboard enziguri. And they call it the red dot. Javon tries to chop Grande. Turns that into a cobra clutch. Now he's putting more pressure on his shoulder, and then that leads to Javon fighting out of it, jumping off the rope for a springboard, but it gets caught and he gets into a chokehold. Javon fights out of it and hits Grande in the corner with a head kick, and then he goes to the other side of the ring and does a swanton coast to coast. He flips over all the way, kick to Grande's face. That leads to the Americanos on the sideline to try to distract. Ryo gets on the apron to distract the ref, which leads to Bravo knocking Javon down while he's off the top rope. He hurts his duh. That leads to then Ryo then has the plan of giving El Grande the metal plate he likes to cheat with. And that leads to the OG El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable. He pops out and that ends up with Grande getting distracted. Javon hits a running knee, gets on the top rope, does the OG cutter. 1, 2, 3. I give that match a 3.5 star. You know, very entertaining lucha match. I'm glad to see Javon beat all the Americanos. Starting Black History Month off right, you know. But I wonder what they're going to be doing with El Grande Americano, the Ludwig Kaiser version, and El Grande Americano OG with Chad Gable. I wonder if they're going to have a match. If they have a match at WrestleMania against each other, it's going to be hilarious. Next up, we hear AJ Styles music pop, but it ain't AJ. Gunther walks out, does the whole pyro entrance, you know, that AJ does, and he's just laughing maniacally coming down to the ring. He's getting booed out the building like he has every time he does the promo. They're saying he tapped out. He's laughing maniacally. And then he gets up there and he says, it was Goldberg, it was John Cena, that was AJ Styles. I am officially the career killer. And then he starts speaking in Austrian, either Austrian or German. I don't know which one. But he was speaking that, and then Dragon Lee on that tight timing instantly popped out, and Gunther tries to walk with him in an apron, big kick. He gets on the rope, crossbody by Dragon Lee, which leads to him kicking Gunther on the outside. Instantly hits that man with a suicide dive. Then he gets on top of the announce table, jumps off, does a hurricanrana to Gunther, ranas him into the ring post. Then he kicked him over the barricade. Now he's finna do a move, trying to jump over and slam him through the barricade, but Gunther gets the ring bell, ding, knock that man down, whooped him, go for the sleeper instantly. We got refs, we got officials trying to stop Gunther. He not going for it. They get off him though, he stopped. Ends up basically choking him again now, and he's holding him on the apron, and he's basically dangling off like he hanging him. It's crazy. Dragon Lee is slept. And Gunther just walks away, puts his Burberry coat back on, and skedaddles. I wonder what's going to be next for Gunther, man, because he really is on that type timer right now. He really is in the careers. Technically, he's not, because this is the real only career he's ever ended, because Goldberg and John were going to retire whether they won or lost or not, you know. Then we get, after that segment, we get Paul Heyman walking on Adam Pearce. He's laughing about something on the phone. And he says, he tells Pierce he's going to book Braun Breaker versus LA Knight tonight. Please. He has that little thing. But he says, I can't do it. I can't do it, Paul. He said, what you mean you can't do it? He said, I just walked LA Knight out tonight. So you can't be having that. But Bronson Reed will be fighting Penta tonight. And Paul is like, hold on. Do you know who you talking to? In whose town? Because if you don't know, Paul Heyman had a company, ECW, and it was very popular in Philadelphia because that's where it's from. And then Adam Pearce hits him with the FAFO. Fuck around and find out. And that leads to them just having a standoff. And that leads to Braun Breaker tweaking in the back because he has to leave now. And Paul's like, come on, it's okay. It's going to be okay. Next up, we get a match with the War Raiders. And they're supposed to be fighting a team, but Oba Femi pops out. And Corey Graves on the announcement, he said this wasn't the scheduled competition going on. And so the War Raiders are like, what's going on? They get into the ring, and as Oba's walking down, he's like, you guys are going to die. He gets in the ring and he kills them. Big clotheslines to both of them. Then he gets them in the corner. He buffs his multiple uppercuts to them. He does a throw suplex on Eric, and then he slams Ivar, and then he hits Eric with the big fall from grace, which is a pop-up powerbomb. And then he gets in the ring, they have a stand up, and he just overforms. They do the spotlight thing on him, and that's it. So another dub for black people during Black History Month. I don't know what they're doing with Oba, but he's looking dominant, and I love to see that. After that segment, we get a segment with Finn Balor doing a little vignette, and he says, you know, the wrestling business is based off respect, and he no longer feels like he's getting the respect he deserves. The respect he gives to the company, to the respect he gives to wrestling is not being returned to him. He's been going crazy for years, working for this company, and when they told him he couldn't be in that Rumble, it snapped. It snapped for him. He said he doesn't believe he's a bad guy, but he's willing to do bad things for the things he wants. And he want that belt that CM Punk got. He want that World Heavyweight Championship. I wonder if that boy Finn finna get right. After that vignette, we get a promo from the Bellas. You know, Nikki Bella and Brie Bella. Brie Bella returned after a long time being gone. Nikki even says it's been 7 years since they've been together, WWE show programming, so it's good to see them together. They're getting a big pop. They're getting a whole bunch of yeses because of Brie Bella's husband is Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, and they proceed to start saying Coop, and Coop is a player in Philadelphia. He plays for the Eagles, and that's what was reported dating Nikki Bella. So Brie Bella makes a joke. I think they're talking about the man he was messing with. I think they're talking about Coop, and she was like, you blame me for having good taste. I was like, what are we doing right now? So now Brie's doing her little promo. She's like, she's happy to be back, and she's finally home. And she says that her and Nikki are the OG tag team, and she sees this tag team division with the women. She's impressed by it, but she wants to do the thing they never got to do, and that's win the tag team title. Then they start guessing. Then we get to our second match of the night. We have, it was mentioned earlier, we have Penta versus Bronson Reed, and he walks out with the Vision. He has Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Paul Heyman with him. We don't start off with a tie-up for once in a while. We get Penta instantly chopping Bronson Reed into a super kick, and then he hits him. But Reed fights back. He's fighting back from Penta, and he ends up getting Penta in the corner. Then hits him with a big splash. That leads to Reed hitting him with an elbow into a headbutt. Gets him to the corner, starts punching and kicking him down in the corner. Then he whips him into the other side of the corner, and then Reed tries to Irish whip him in the middle of the ring, but he gets reversed by Penta, hitting him with a Hurricanrana into a springboard crossbody inside the ring, but he gets caught by Reed. As Reed is holding him, Penta fights back out of it, and then he kicks him to the outside, super kick to the outside, and that leads to him doing the little swanton bomb on the outside with Reed on the outside. Leads to a commercial break. We get back from the commercial break. Reed is taking over the momentum. He has a little headlock on Penta, but Penta stunners him while he's off the ground. That leaves Penta dodging another attack from Reed, which makes Reed end up leaving the ring. Penta tries to go for the suicide dive, but it gets reversed. Reed into an elbow. Reed then gets back in the ring. He slams Penta, does a big jumping senton, lays right on his back, goes for a pin. 1, 2, kick out from Penta. That leads to Reed just punching him, hitting him with big headbutts, and then hits him with a big chop and knocks him down to the floor. That leads to him getting near the rope and then standing on Penta. That's a lot of weight, gang. That's too much weight. And then start stumping him while he's on the ground. At least Reed picking him up, going for another suplex. That gets a kick out, but then he gets up, hits him with a big jumping elbow. Again, it's a lot of weight, but that gets a kick out from Penta again. Reed tries to go for that senton again, but he misses. And now Penta is getting this comeback in. He's getting to chops and then super kicks. And that leads to him hitting the reverse sling blade into a springboard tornado DDT. And that gets a 1, 2, kick out from Reed. Now Penta's trying to do real damage. He grabs Bronson Reed's arm for the sacrifice, tries to pull it back, but it gets reversed into a headbutt by Bronson Reed, and then he hits him with a powerbomb setup into a power slam, but it gets a kick out from Penta. Then Penta slaps Reed. That pisses him off. He tries to pick him up for a slam, but Penta reverses it into a backstabber. Double knees to the back going down. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out from Reed. And we get to the trickery. We get Austin Theory jumping up on the apron, trying to distract. That leads to Penta hitting Theory, and then Paul gets on the apron, and that leads to Penta hitting Paul, but he also hits the ref in the process. Then he goes on the top rope and then jumps on the outside onto them. He gets back into the ring, tries to go for the Mexican Destroyer on Reed, but Reed reverses it into a Death Valley Driver. But he likes to call it the Jagged Edge. Then he goes into the top rope and then lands a tsunami. But it's no ref. So what does Bronson do? He tries to cheat a little bit more. He walks to the outside, get a steel chair. But L.A. he hits that man, gets the chair from him, whacks him, and that leads to the ref waking back up. Penta's in the ring. Reed got hit so hard he can't get back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He gets counted out. I haven't seen a count out victory in a minute. Penta gets the win. I also give this match a 3.5. I feel like it was the same level par of the Grande Javon match. Got the more interruptions. I feel like I don't like giving matches with a lot of interruptions big stars. I feel like the only 5-star match to have interruptions is WrestleMania 40, Cody Roman, because it was just so epic. But overall, it was a good match for them, and I wonder what's going to happen with the Vision with them keep taking these losses. Now, that is the end of part 1 of today's episode. Yes, part 1. We always release these Raw recaps in 2 parts, so make sure to watch the second part. Subscribe to the channel so you can watch the next part, and like the video so I can make more parts. How many times am I going to say part? Watch part 2.